Alright, hello folks. Yeah, I'm using text-to-speech, no real voice reveal today. Anyway, welcome to my first tier list video. Since I'm a Demoman main, I figured we'd start with Demo himself. So yeah, let's get into it. Before we do get into this video, there are some things I do want to talk about. I will use TTS a lot more since I feel like the lack of audio other than music in my videos isn't really full enough to be enjoyed. So I hope you guys don't care a lot and also enjoy, and I'm still trying to get better at editing videos myself, so anyways, let's actually go before I get bored and go to bed. By the way, most of these are opinions, so please don't go to my front door and stab me to death pretty please. So to start off, we will talk about the stock grenade launcher. In my opinion, it's one of Demo's best primaries, but of course it's stock. I've used it for a while, but even if it's fun to be efficient, I am quite bored of this weapon, I won't lie, but that doesn't mean it's bad. But if I were to choose one weapon for the rest of my life in TF2 as Demoman, I would definitely choose stock. Now it's the lock and load's turn. In my opinion, really underrated. You can be almost just as effective as a normal Demo, and although it's not easy to use when you're new, it's a really great Demoman primary for bullying engineers and being precise with my shots, so it's definitely a solid S tier. I know people will hate me, but this is just an opinion, and it's also funny to snipe people from afar. Now the Iron Bomber. I will say this, but in my opinion it's basically stock but for a different style of playing. It's really good, but I genuinely won't lie, I prefer every other launcher over the Iron Bomber, even though the Iron Bomber is still pretty solid, so it's still going in the S tier, but I really like this one less than other grenade launchers. Now the loose cannon is quite the interesting weapon. A lot of people can't decide whether it's bad or good, at least from what I've seen. But in my opinion it's really fucking close to being just as good as the other launchers. Since I've gotten so many accidental kills with it, it's funny to just launch someone in the air, and even better if it's a double donk. It's genuinely a really good option, but not beginner friendly. It's definitely going into the A tier. I put it into B tier in the video for some reason, but I was really tired, so I just put it in B for some reason. But anyway, now onto the boots. They are pretty solid, mostly on Demoman. It really assists since these boots provide the player with a 25 health bonus, and a 10% faster movement speed bonus if the user has also equipped a shield, and it also gives you a passive charge effect where you can turn even more with these equipped. Definitely a solid A tier and reliable. But then comes the base jumper. In general it's just bad. Slow air movement, you have to use a sticky launcher only, and it's not helpful since you're basically a sitting duck for any class that has hits can or can even reach you. Worst item in general for Demo. The stock bottle and also Scottish handshake, which isn't here for some reason. Definitely a reliable choice for normal full stock Demoman. You can never go wrong with it. Although there are, I guess, sorta better melees if you can go stock Demo with only the Islander. The paint rain is also pretty useful for faster capping, but basically useless on defense since there isn't a point to capture. The K-Bird just sucks, genuinely horrible. Only one explosion with no recharge. The non-explosion damage after the first explosive hit deals pitiful damage, and you pull and slam it slower than a truck. They need to rework it. The Claymore is in my opinion a double-edged sword, which the item itself is that, but technically it's meant for Demoman, but ends up being way better on Hybrid Knight, due to the fact that full Demoman can only use their sword, and this sword has damage vulnerability from everything, so you're gonna die, but it's not bad when in the hands of an experienced Demoman that doesn't die, or a Hybrid Knight. I would say this sword is pretty okay. But then we reach the Islander and half Zatoichi. These are the best swords for Demoman and Hybrid Knight. Once you get 5 heads on the Islander, you're basically hard to kill, whilst half Zatoichi basically makes you able to chain kills and live for longer after each kill. You can basically reach full overheal with these weapons if you're really fucking good. You are basically unstoppable, solid S tier. Now we reach the Persian Persuader. Technically I would say it's a really good sword, but Hybrid Knights in general just can't do anything with it. its downsides aren't horrible on full Demoman Knight for obvious reasons, and gaining shield charges from ammo boxes is really good, but having less ammo on Hybrid Knight is horrible, but it's still a good sword nonetheless. The Skull Cutter is basically a really good choice in general for both Hybrid and normal Demoman Knight. You have longer reach, a slowdown boost which isn't absolutely noticeable on full Demoman Knight, and higher damage plus random crits. This really just feels like they forgot to remove the random crits. Really good sword, I won't lie. Random crits are funny and stupid anyway. Now the shields, I won't lie, not a single one is bad, and the charge has to be one of my favorites. You basically can have a bigger health pool against pyro and soldiers and enemy demos, since you have a pretty giant amount of resistance against fire and explosive damage. Definitely one of my favorite shields. The Splendid Screen, whilst not as immensely good in the resistance factors like the charge, it is honestly the best shield bash damage-wise, and using it with the Islander basically makes it so you can basically have bigger shield bashing damage, and it has a faster recharge time, which honestly makes it the best shield for me. And the last of the shields, Tide Turner, one of the funniest to use. This basically lets you be a lot more mobile, and I find it a lot more useful on Hybrid Knight. You can never go wrong with it for trimping either. Alto you can't crit when charging with it, only mini crits, but it's definitely really good even if its resistances are barely as good as the charge or Splendid Screens. Stock Sticky Launcher is definitely one of my favorite weapons, no need to explain, but Quickie Bomb Launcher is also really good. The damage penalty is barely noticeable, and it's actually easier at spamming, and it really does help if you don't wanna spam and still want to set up traps since it charges really fast. Honestly a favorite of mine. The Scottish Resistance is honestly really fucking damn underrated. People think it's bad for the slower activation time BQs they can't sticky spam with it, but you can use it on defense and somehow on offense since it still works like stock in the sense of it having the exact same damage as stock, but it's way more of a defense weapon. I still love it too. And lastly is the Sticky Jumper. It's really good for training sticky jumps, and it's literally meant to be a training weapon anyways, so that's why it's going in the best tier. So yeah, that is my full Demoman Weapons ratings. I really enjoyed making this video, and remember, none of this is gospel, these are my opinions on each weapon, so please don't come to my house with pitchforks for the love of God. Anyways, goodbye fellow worker and murder drones, Serial Designated T out.